Hello, my name is Jeffrey Brooke, and this is my video presentation for Human and Social Services 235 Crisis Intervention. In the provided scenario, as a crisis interventionist, I made first contact with Marie when she called the suicide hotline. Marie is a 32-year-old woman with 2 children. She has a history of depression and is on disability for chronic pain. It was established through the assessment that she has had issues with suicidal ideation in the past and has spent time in an inpatient psychiatric facility. Maria stated that she has stopped taking her medication and has ceased to meet with her counselor, mainly due to the fact that she has no health insurance. Her husband hasn't lost employment for over a year, and John, her husband, has been working several jobs to make ends meet and seems to be showing signs of stress himself. At the time of the call, John is in jail, and there is a history that Marie expresses of domestic abuse, and there's some fear related to that on his release. Marie is threatening suicide and has expressed that she has a plan of overdosing. She's in great pain, she's fearful of her husband, and she's depressed and feels like a failure. Based on the assessment of first contact, I felt that a home visit was warranted because of the situation. This is how I would make initial first contact or establish psychological connection. Marie, thank you for helping me with the assessment. I think that out of all the information that I need on this end, and I know that you had a hard time sharing some of it, it sounds like you have had a very tough time lately. You stated that you feel like taking some drastic steps, and I think it's important that I come and see you just to make sure that you're safe. By saying this, I take the steps to make sure that I can assess Marie more in her crisis, make sure that she is safe. Now I must clarify the intentions, both of the interventionist and the client. Marie has made it pretty clear, her intentions pretty clear, that she is depressed, that she is feeling suicidal, and she wants to take her life, and that she has a plan of carrying it out. Now I must define the problem. With Marie, there are many problems. It seems to be the main problem is that she's in chronic pain. And because of her chronic pain, she cannot work. She cannot pay for her depression medication or psychological help. Her husband is unemployed, in jail, and physically abusive. Her children have been taken by CPS. She is depressed, suicidal, and hopeless. As a crisis interventionist, I must find the most dangerous problem that Marie is facing. I must make sure she is safe and the others around her. Then, from addressing this problem, her safety, I can then work with her on the others. Because Marie is expressing suicidal thoughts, I think that I must address that problem first. By making a home visit to make sure that she's physically safe, I can address this problem. Outside of the face-to-face visit, I could contact the authorities to make a welfare check, but I should get a commitment from Marie first. I would say something like this: Marie, I'm concerned that you may hurt yourself. I want to come and see you, get to know you better, and understand some of the problems that you talked about earlier. But I want to make sure that you are safe. Can you promise me that you won't do anything to yourself before I get there? By this, Marie commits that she will not do anything to jeopardize herself for safety before I get there. I can then make the visit with the authorities and then make the next steps. Then I can provide support. As a crisis worker, I need to provide not only logistical support, but psychological support. Make sure that Marie feels that I am a person that cares, that I will listen to her concerns. After making the physical visit, I can say something like this: Marie, I can't imagine the feelings that you're feeling. It may seem that everything is getting out of control and that there's nothing that can be done to ease the pain and uncertainty. And I understand that you're feeling very depressed, and that doesn't seem to make you feel any better. Can I ask, did the medication and the counseling help in the past? You said that you're not taking them now and not meeting with your counselor. I can get in touch with the Community Mental Health Outpatient Center here in town, and they can provide medication and counseling, some of it at very little cost or at no cost. And this may help you get back some of the feeling of hope that you said you were not feeling at this time. By this, I can give logistical support in what I feel the major problem is, the underlying the crisis, which is her depression, her untreated depression. I can continue on something like this: I know that you're missing your children. I understand that. and that you said you feel inadequate as a parent. I want to help. I can contact your CPS caseworker just to get heads up on the situation and tell them some of your concerns. CPS wants to help and make sure that your son and daughter are safe. Just know that this is temporary, and I want to encourage you that we can tackle some of the problems together. I want you to know that you don't have to do this alone. I can also add social support. I understand that John is in jail at the moment, and I understand that you are afraid that when he will be released. I know you two have been having problems lately, and I can see why you are fearful. You don't need to be afraid. We can talk to someone about what is going to happen to John when he gets out. If you feel that you can't be safe with him at home, we can talk to the women's shelter here in town for some advice. I promise that we will work to make sure that you're safe. Do you have any family close? Is there someone you want me to contact and let them know what's going on? And let me explain the situation to them. By this way, I can add some social supports in the situation for her. I can also add some informational support for Marie. I can say, Marie, I noticed that your cupboards are bare. It doesn't look like you've eaten in some time. I want to get you some food. I can get you in touch with the local food bank, maybe provide some groceries for you. And maybe if my organization does have funds, I can get you some groceries or some hot food today. I know you're not thinking about shopping right now. So if you don't mind, I want to get in touch with some local churches that want to help people and get you some groceries for a few weeks until you get back on your feet. All during this time, I can always look for the safety of Marie, make sure that safety has been established for her. During the visit, we realize that Marie doesn't want to kill herself, that she's reaching out in pain. But I can help her make a plan to provide for safety for her and making sure that she's safe from harm, not only from her husband, but from her environment, what's going on around her. And maybe meet some of those vital needs that she needs, such as shelter and food. Number 4, we can start looking at examining alternatives for Marie. I can already see that there are several alternatives for Marie rather than feeling like there's no way out of her crisis. I have shared with her some of the real alternatives to her problem, her depression, that we could get in touch with the local mental health authority to get her back on those meds and help with the psychiatric help. I can see that her basic needs are not being met, so we can address those as alternatives of finding food for her. And the feelings of harm that she may be in with her husband, we can talk to the women's shelter in town. In this way, it can help her break out of that tunnel vision she may be feeling with the crisis and not feel alone. And that there are services that can provide some of the helps in the concerns that she has. Number 5, we need to start planning in order to reestablish control. Reestablishing control means to help Marie create a plan that will guide her solution in her crisis. I need to first mobilize Marie in her steps to reestablish this control for her. I would say something like this. Marie, we looked at some of the ways that we can deal with some of these problems. I can see that you agree that you're deeply depressed. Seeing an intake specialist at MHMR on Tuesday will get you back to help you get that medication and see a doctor. I will talk to Tom Hiddleston, the CPS case manager. Let him know your concerns. I know that Tom will work with us, and also talking to Sarah at the ARC, the women's shelter. You can get advice from her about John. There are some ways that we can deal with it, Marie, and I know you want to get better for yourself and for your children. This action plan worked out with Marie gives her a sense of autonomy, being a part of the solution, and it's the first step in mobilizing her to reestablish control. Now I need to obtain commitment from Marie. The commitment I need to get from Marie must be clear, concise, and behaviorally specific. Okay, Marie, I need to hear what your plan is for the next few days. This can allow Marie to summarize the action plan that we've worked out. If Marie cannot verbalize the commitment, I can go through the alternatives again and make sure that she understands the steps that she needs to take and get the commitment that I need to ensure her safety. If I need to go through the alternatives again, perhaps adjusting them, I can help her make a decision on her own. It should be free, doable, and voluntarily. And finally, I need to follow up with Marie. Once she's taken this action plan to start mobilizing to get out of this crisis situation, I need to follow up with her. I'll follow up with Marie in a crisis. This follow-up ensures that she's safe, and if we have to address any new issues. Since it has been established that Marie has made a commitment, I will contact her after her initial visit with the MHMR to see what her action steps are. Then they're going to be followed up. I can let her know the information that I found on my side. I would say something like this: Marie, you're looking better. I understand that the MHMR is going to help you get back on the medication and that you're seeing a doctor on Wednesday. I talked to Tom at CPS. He understands your concerns and he feels sorry that you're feeling this way. He'll be contacting you soon to talk with you on how your kids are doing and what kind of plans you get to get your kids back. And I see that you've talked to Sarah at the ARC. Great. I will touch base with her, let her know what I'm thinking about John, the concerns that you have with John. But I want you to know Sarah is a great person who wants to really help women out in your condition. She kind of knows how it feels to be in your shoes. And she can answer any questions that you might have to help you stay in control of what's happening with John. This follow-up will allow Marie to know that I am with her. I'm still with her. And that if she has little social support, she has me to help her follow up, to get her the help that she needs, and not feel alone in the process of reestablishing control of her crisis. These are the steps I would take in this scenario, using the hybrid model of crisis intervention to help Marie in this particular crisis. Thank you.